My name is Qureshi, and today I will be discussing with you Oracle Integration Cloud feature, publish and subscribe events. Publish and subscribe is a very common integration pattern that helps you achieve decoupling, scalability, and performance. Oracle Integration provides this natively by using events. You can create events by simply providing a sample JSON schema. Publish messages to events from both app-driven integration and schedule integration, while multiple integrations can subscribe to same event. Some of the advantages: you can achieve decoupling, simplify integration logic into asynchronous integrations that are easy to maintain, elasticity, like easily add or remove subscribers without any concern about interrupting other integrated applications, event distribution. Events are made available to multiple integrations for consumption, allowing multiple applications to simultaneously receive relevant data. There are certain restrictions today, but as always, I always recommend you to check the documentation for any updates on restrictions, because with every release, we are adding more and more features. So currently, at the time of recording, a maximum of 20 integrations can subscribe to an event per service instance. And currently, event-based integration pattern is not supported in side projects. So you need to use the general integration design area within Oracle integration. So today, I will walk you through a demo. We will together create an incident event. Then we will create an integration that will publish to the event. And then we will create two subscribe events integrations. One will create this incident inside ServiceNow, and the other will log this into a file within FTP location. Okay, let's start. This is Oracle Integration homepage. We will go to Design, and here, Events. The first step is to create an event. So we click on Create. Let's give it a name, Incident, for example. Continue. Here we need to provide a JSON sample. So this is my JSON sample where I have 5 fields: incident description, short description, urgency, impact, and caller. We click Create, and our incident has been created. Incident event has been created. Now, let's go and create our first integration. Go to Integration, click on Create. This is an application-driven integration. So I will call it HQ Incident Event Publisher. Okay, now, first of all, I need to create the REST trigger. So I select Oracle REST integration. Let's call it Create Incident. Next, I need to provide a resource URI. So I'm saying incident. Since I'm publishing something, so I will use post. I want to make this asynchronous, so I'm only going to configure the request payload. I'm not configuring any response payload for this. Next, as part of the request, I have to select a payload format. So for me, it is a JSON sample. I will provide an inline, and here, let me paste the JSON sample. So incident description of the incident, short description, urgency, impact, and caller. Okay. Now clicking next, I just look at the endpoint summary. I'm satisfied, so click done. Next, I want to publish this event. So I go to Actions. In the call, I find publish event action, so I bring that after trigger. Here, I select the incident event that I just created in the last step. So choose. I can see the payload. Okay, finish. Now I can see there is a mapper. So I need to map the data that is coming from the trigger onto the event. So I edit. And this is straightforward mapping. So I'll just do direct mapping. Okay. Once my mapping is done, I click validate. That's validated. And the last step is to add a business identifier. In this case, I am going to add short description as well as the caller as business identifier number 2. Save. And when this integration is complete, that is, I am able to publish the event. Let's click on activate. Okay. Now let's create a second integration. And this one is to subscribe an event. So in that case, I will choose events. Let's call it HQ subscribe incident event. And in this one, my target is ServiceNow. So I'm just putting that in my name as well. Click create. The first step, it asks me this subscription event trigger, which event I'm subscribing to. So I select incident. I can again see the payload. And I click on choose. Finish. Now this has subscribed to the event. Now I want to send this event and create an incident in ServiceNow. So I go to invokes. I have a ServiceNow connection already configured. So I bring it after subscribe to event trigger. Let's give it a name, create incident ServiceNow. Next, the ServiceNow adapter provides different options. So I can create, update, or delete information. I can query an information, or I can attach attachment information I can get. So in this case, since I want to create an incident, so I select the first option, click next. In operations, I can browse applications or I can search module table directly. Select an operation. I want to create a new record in the selected module or table. So I select that. Now I need to, because ServiceNow has multiple applications, I need to go to incident application. So I search for incident. I select incident. And at the bottom, incident application has got 2 tables or modules, incident or incident task. In my case, I need to select incident. Once that's done, click next. I check the summary and click done. Okay, now we can see there is a mapper which has been created between the trigger and create ServiceNow invoke. So we need to map the data from the event onto ServiceNow invoke. So we'll edit. On the right-hand side, I can see the payload that ServiceNow API provides. On the left is my request. So I need to start mapping. So I'll start urgency. Then I see I have a caller. Now, one of the things in ServiceNow is that it requires when you are mapping the caller information, you need to provide the CICD of the caller inside ServiceNow. So for that purpose, we are going to use a function. So first, right-click and create the target node. I have created a lookup, which is a mapping of username to the ServiceNow CICD. So I'm going to use the function lookup value, and I bring it here. It asks me which function which lookup I'm going to use. So I select ServiceNow users. Next, what is the source? So source is the user. So you can see I've got these users already, sample users in my lookup. Target, I need to provide, map the ServiceNow CICD. So this is the ServiceNow CICD. Next, I can select a default value. Next, I can see the summary and done. As it created this, it provides a service value placeholder. This is where I need to actually do the mapping. So my user information is coming in color. So I will just map it here. And whatever the user caller comes, it will map its appropriate SysID from the lookup table. That's done. Okay, I need to map impact. So one thing we can do here is we can search. So I search, I can find that field. So that's the impact. Next, I need to map the description. So I can search description, which goes into the incident description. And finally, I need to map the short description, which also I can search here, is the short description here. Now the mapping is complete. I validate. It's all validated. And next, the last thing, I need to add the business identifier. So again, I'm going to provide the short description as well as the caller as the business identifier too. Save. And so simply, I have been able to subscribe to the incident event and create that incident in ServiceNow. Okay, let's activate this integration. And let's create our final integration, which is where we'll subscribe the incident event and send the data to a FTP location. So click on create. Again, we select event. Let's name it. And let's put FTP. First thing, we need to select which event it's subscribing to. So that's incident. I can view, that's correct, finish. Okay. I need to now send this to my FTP location. So I go to inbox. And here I have a FTP connection already configured. So I drop it after the trigger event. What does it do? Create incident FTP. Next, I want to write to a file. It is a binary file. I need to have the location. So let's get the location. That's the output directory. And the file name is this. I want to append to an existing file, so I'll just select this option. Okay, and click next. Do you want to specify a structure? Yes, this is a CSV file, so I will specify a structure, and I select CSV. Next. Now I need to provide a sample CSV, so click on drag and drop. This is my sample CSV. I open. Let's give a incident record name and record set. Delimiter is comma, optional enclosed. That's all good. I can see that I have incident description here, short description, urgency, impact, caller, and incident date time. My impact and urgency are integers, so I can change the data type here. Okay, I'm satisfied. Next, I see the summary and I click done. Okay, again, I have a mapper. I need to map the data between the subscribe to event to the invoke for FTP. So I edit the mapper. Okay, so this is the record set, record name, and these are the columns. And in the request wrapper, I'll do the mapping. So incident description, short description goes to short description, urgency to urgency, impact. In this case, I'm okay with just saving the username into caller. So I just do caller. And then I need to have an incident date time, which is not coming as part of the request. So I will again use a function. So let's create a target node and go to functions. We have date functions. I just need the current date time. So that's mapped. Click validate. Okay, this has been validated. And finally, we need to set up the identifiers. So again, this time we will select the short description as business identifier 1 and the caller as business identifier 2. Save. So again, we have been able to create the second subscriber to the event, and this time it is updating our incidents file at an FTP location. Let's go back, activate this integration. I'm using the tracing as this is development environment as debug. The integration has been activated. We have 3 integrations. The first one publishes the event and we have 2 subscribers. Let's publish a test event. So we go to run. Here, because this is a app-driven integration and we have a REST trigger, so we can click on endpoint metadata and you can see we have the documentation, we have the Swagger, we have the OpenAI API, and within the metadata, this is the URL. I can provide it to a developer if they want to publish this event with the right credentials. And this is a post method. This is the request sample. Okay, let's test it. I go into body and I provide a sample incident. Its description is I am unable to connect to the internet from my desktop. Short description is no internet connection. Urgency and impact is 2. Caller is Bryce Hecklin. Okay, let's run this. Okay, we can see this has run successfully. Let's now go to main page, observability, and see how our integrations have done. So into instances. And here I can see that all 3 integrations have been successful. The first one was the publish. So if we go in, we can see that the trigger and it published the incident to our incident event. And here we have the activity stream, so we can see at every step what data went through. So if I look at the wire message, I can see what information triggered this event. The second integration was ServiceNow. We can again look at it and we can see it subscribed to the event and it published the event. It created the incident in ServiceNow successfully. We can see all green. And again, we can see what data came in here. So for the ServiceNow, let's go to ServiceNow, and within incidents, we can see that our incident has been created successfully, which was by Bryce Hedgelin. If I go into this incident, we can see the caller, we can see the number, we can see the short description, no internet connection, description, I am unable to connect to the internet from my desktop, impact is 2, urgency is 2. And the final integration, which was another subscription, and this has appended the data into an FTP file location. So again, we can see the data, same data we subscribe, no internet connection. Now let's go to our FTP server. This is our file. So let's refresh and open this file. And we can see that the last line has been appended. I'm unable to connect to the internet from my desktop, no internet connection, Bryce Hedgelin, and this is the current date and time. So today, this is what I wanted to show you, how you can create, publish and subscribe integration via events using Oracle Integration Cloud. We created an incident event. We created 3 integrations. The first integration was publishing data to this particular incident event. And there were 2 subscribers. One created the incident inside ServiceNow, and the other at the same time in parallel created, appended a file inside an FTP location. Thanks a lot.